their prop.
Air 806. Say again your last transmission.
Test. Yep, that's good. I'll make this a little louder because Nagasaki ground Arcus Air 806 with you. Information Charlie requesting clearance to Hiroshima as filed. Stand 13 Romeo.
Arcus Air 806, cleared to Hiroshima. Expect Oscar Lane, Echo 5 Romeo departure runway 32. Initial climb 5000. Then is filed. Squawk 0252.
Clear to Hiroshima, expect the Oscar Lima Echo 5 Romeo departure, runway 32, initial climb 5000, then as filed, squawk 0252 for Arcus Air 806.
Arcus Air 806, readback is correct. Report when ready.
Set this up to 5000. Check the departure. That's wrong, because that's the Chiku. And we need the Ola 5 Romeo on runway 32. Load departure. Back. Map. Yep. We'll report when ready, Arcus Air 806. Arcus Air 806 request taxi.
Arcus Air 806, taxi to holding point runway 32, via Bravo 2 Papa 3 Papa 2 Tango 2.
Taxi and hold runway 32 via Bravo 2 Papa 3 Papa 2 Tango 2, Arcus Air 806. Duck. Because my wing is gonna hit you if you don't duck. Okay, check the brakes. Brakes are checked. And put on some extra lights. Pitot heat on. Landing taxi lights on. Landing lights off. Set the squawk, which was 0252. 0252 in the box. There we go. The rest is all set. Altimeter is checked. Bit fast on the taxi. We're not in a hurry. I'm currently running the beta, what is it, beta 5? The next beta. So scenery is a little stuttery. That's to be expected. That's what usually happens because it's not optimized yet. So I'm flying a nice Cessna 182. No, this is a 210. Cessna 210 RG. It has all the comforts of a single engine piston. It has a weather radar. It has a pressurized cabin, I believe. No, no pressurized cabin. We don't need it because we're only gonna fly at 5,000, so will be nice. It will be nice. I have real time off, real weather on, I believe, and I'm going to get my Rex Atmos core going. I like the set by Andrew Bennett. There. I'm running a reshade finally. Microsoft and Asobo allowed reshaders again with their flight sim. I could not get it working in Sim Update 4 at all. But now in the Sim Update Beta 5 it is actually working again. So I am running a reshade, which looks pretty darn realistic if I say so. And then with the Rex Atmos, it looks just a bit better even. So we're in Japan. we're currently in Nagasaki, and we're flying to Hiroshima. So that's from one, and well, not to sound disrespectful, but it is what happened. One nuked city to another. Nagasaki, of course, was the second city to be hit.
Arcus Air 806, taxi to holding point runway 32, via Papa 2 Tango 1.
Oh, I'm probably, yeah. I probably had clearance to go to taxi hold runway 32 via Papa 2 to Tango 1, Arcus Air 806. To take off from Tango 2, not use the entire runway, but again, I screwed up. I will screw up a lot. Just saying. Last night I had a very vivid dream about me and my dog, where I could actually see him get wings and fly off to dog heaven.
Arcus Air 806, contact Nagasaki Tower 118.5.
I miss him. Switching to Tower 118.5 for Arcus Air 806. I really miss him. Now, I have friends who lost their dog recently, and they say the same thing. It's like losing another human being. Nagasaki Tower, Arcus Air 806, holding short, runway 32, ready for departure.
Arcus Air 806, wind 108 degrees at 3 knots. Runway 32 clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, Arcus Air 806. The first leg we flew in a turboprop in the very nice black square beach 53, 56, 56. And this we're flying in a Cessna 210, so we're gonna stick with the Cessnas. Set takeoff power. Release the brakes. Airspeed alive. $60 knots. 70 knots. Airborne. The Cessna 210 is quite a bit bigger and heavier than a Cessna 172 or 82. Therefore needs a bit more airspeed to rotate. Stay above the runway. Nav is on, V-speed is on. Let's see what that looks like. That's not too shabby. 800 feet a minute. Flaps up. Oh, I hadn't used flaps. It's not really necessary in this aircraft at this altitude. Well, here you can see the fog that we're heading into, and we can pull the gear up. Because that's what we can do in an RG. And it's gone. That will increase our speed, and I'll pull back on the throttle and on the prop a bit. That's about it. 1100 is what I want to have on the engine RPM. We're going to make a left turn in a minute, fly back to the field, and then intercept the outbound radial.
Arcus Air 806, contact Fukuoka, departure 119.175.
Switch to a 119.175, Arcus Air 806. Oh, 119.175. 119.175. Switch. Fukuoka departure, Arcus Air 806 with you, passing 2,400, climbing to 5,000 on the Oli 5 Romeo departure.
Arcus Air 806 identified. Proceed direct go. Continue as filed. Continue climb 5,000.
I
1018.
knew she was gonna do that. Direct Goro, climb 5000, QNH 1016 for Arcus Air 806. Our QNH is 1018. She's probably not even gonna correct me on that. See, it says 1018. But I didn't say that. Let's see, direct to. Back. Flight plan. And I can't find it again. It's not in here. Yeah, this is not working. That is Goryu, that is useless. Insert before. Goro. Let's see if that works. And then we fly direct here.
Arcus Air 806, contact Tokyo Center 125 decimal minor.
There, that should work. Contact Tokyo Center 125900 for Arcus Air 806. One two five nine zero. Tokyo Center Arcus Air 806 inbound Goro at 5000.
Arcus Air 806 identified. Maintain 5000. H1018.
Pardon me. Maintain 5000 QNH 1018 Arcus Air 806. 140 knots, that's good. That'll do nicely. Flaps are up, gear is up, aircraft is clean. And we're on track. How about them apples? $5,000, 140 knots, cruising along. Ground speed is 162 knots. And 13 miles to the next waypoint. And here you can see what Japan is so famous for: volcanoes. Japan lies on the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is a ring of volcanoes, either active, dormant, or sleeping. I think sleeping and dormant are the same thing, but and yeah, most of the islands of Japan are made up of inactive volcanoes, as you can see this one here. I that there might be a old volcano, I'm not sure. Anywho's, I could check my Navigraph map. And then on the VFR setting, that should work. And that will definitely stutter a lot, unload, because we're not flying leg 1, we're flying leg 2, that's this one. Is it? No, it's not. Import. That's the one. And then instead of VFR, we'll take world map. And here you can see some of the remnants of volcanoes. Here's one. And there's quite a bit more. Here's one. So yeah, Japan is full of them. I'll get up my Simlink. and get my external navigraph on. There. Flight time is about an hour and 2 minutes, so that's nice. Today I also became a member of a virtual airline again. It's the virtual airline that is being that was created, let me put it that way, by old friends that I used to fly with. And just for the fun of it, I looked on VOTSIM, which is the Virtual Air Traffic Controller Simulation Network. And I have an incredible amount of flight hours, 2,795 hours. So they transferred them over to my current account in NetAir. And as soon as the aircraft that I want to fly have been painted, I will fly a lot for them, because this year I want to break the 3,000 hour barrier. So that's quite a bit of flying. But with my long haul experience, it's going to be easy. Alright. Let's get the weather over here. Well, the weather is better than it was this morning in Japan. Most of the rain has cleared up. Last night it was even worse. There were thunderstorms all around me, and I didn't really feel like flying inside of those with this aircraft. Yes, it has a weather radar, but that doesn't mean that it can fly into thunderstorms, because it is not rated for that. So then this morning I tried this flight and I forgot to reduce the throttle, which meant the engine started overheating, and I knew that that was not gonna work. Not on a recording, not for YouTube, you know. You want to keep it realistic, which means you have to pay attention to what you're doing. And this morning, because of the dream I had last night, I couldn't get myself to flying. Now, however, the cobwebs are a bit gone. I took my meds. I have oxycodone from the doctor, and that seems to work. I don't take them too often, because if I was going to take them 3 times a day, which is the prescription, then I'm a freaking zombie, and I won't even be able to do this. I won't be able to fly at all, so we're not gonna do that. Let's see if we have a VOR. I see that we're crabbing quite a bit along this route. Well, at least that's what it says here. But I think this is a different flight plan. Because this goes to Yanai, and I have Kroki and Oyita in between, so I need to insert after Kroki. That's better. And then here, insert after Oyata. Oita. Oita. So now we're back on track. Did I even take enough fuel with me? Did I check that? No, of course not. Well, thankfully we have a very sophisticated system on board. Utilities, let's see, fuel planning, use sensor data. Oh, we got enough fuel. We got 22 pounds left. When we hit our target, hit Hiroshima. As I said before, both Hiroshima and Nagasaki, of course, were bombed pretty much out of existence by the Americans to end World War II. In the Pacific theater, Hitler had already committed suicide, so Europe was getting liberated, but the United States, they had a problem. Invading Japan would cost millions of lives, millions of American lives, because Japan is heavily defended. Back in the day, it still is, by the way. And Japan does not know how to surrender. They will not surrender if you don't violently pursue them to do so. So the United States, under the leadership of Mr. Oppenheimer, decided to start the Manhattan Project, which was the start of the nuclear weapons program in the United States. And in 1945, I'm not exactly sure when, I could look it up probably. I probably should, because I am talking about it and I want to be correct about this. So that is Hiroshima bomb. Here we go. Wikipedia. On August 6th and August 9th, only 3 days after each other, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed. Killed up to 150,000 to 246 people. And Japan announced its surrender to the Allies on August 15th, 6 days after the bombing. They had 6 days to deliberate whether or not they were going to surrender. And most of the army and navy, by the way, those two hated each other. They didn't want to surrender, but the emperor said, we are going to surrender, but because continuing this will destroy Japan as we know it. And of course Japan was already destroyed because the United States delivered fire bombs to most of its beautiful cities. But the spirit of the Japanese people was unbroken before the bombings, before those two nuclear weapons were dropped. The one on Hiroshima was the smaller of the two. The one on Nagasaki was the bigger of the two. Both were air burst as a form of detonation, which meant that the damage was relatively small. Relatively small. At the core, people were vaporized out of existence. The only thing that you could find were their shadows. The core of a nuclear detonation gets hotter than the sun. The rest died of the airburst and the fires, and of course years after because of radiation poisoning. Yeah, it was horrific, but, and I'm not going to get into the politics of the situation because that's not what this channel is about. According to the Americans, this was the only way to end the war with Japan. And of course, the Americans were quite pissed that Japan bombed Pearl Harbor out of the blue, without any warning, and without any real reason. Yes, America was strong-arming Japan because America was the most powerful economy in the world, and it held hostage the Japanese economy by boycotting oil and steel to the Japanese factories, and that led to Japan sneakily attacking Pearl Harbor, and that of course led to the United States actively being pulled into World War II. So it's not true that the Americans won World War II. They were late to the war. Yes, they provided the bulk of their armed forces to Europe, but it was Russia, of course, who invaded Berlin and forced Germany to surrender, not America, even though Trump says that he did. But again, not getting into the politics, just wanted to make this clear. So that's a bit of history, you know, and in the meantime, both cities have been fully rebuilt. There are still traces of radiation pockets of, you know, around, but yeah. Now you will know that I am a vivid prepper. I have been training survival techniques for over 20 years now. Started as a hobby, then continued that in the army, and now picking it up again because of what's going on in the world, you know, with a dictator in America. Oh, I'm getting into the politics. Well, you can't really discuss anything ongoing in the world's theater now without going into politics, without going into what the United States is becoming. And it's no longer an ally. And NATO found out the hard way that we cannot trust America anymore. So they are taking steps economically and defense to, you know, to beef up our armed forces, because we still have Russia, who is still fighting a bloody war in Ukraine, even though they get decimated over there. They are still a threat. Remember the saying, A wounded fox makes the weirdest leaps. So, well, that's what we say in the Netherlands. So it was just, you know. But, yeah. Trump. I have no idea why the American people voted for him. You have to be batshit crazy to do that. Because he's a dictator. He is. He is building a 400 billion... Is 400 billion or 800 billion? I'm not sure. Dick extension next to the White House. It's a dick extension. He has a tiny dick, and that's why he needs a Boeing 747 from Qatar, and he needs a Arc de Triomphe near what's it called? I'll get to it. The fields, the cemetery where all the soldiers are. He wants an Arc de Triomphe type thing there. He wants the ballroom that is fugly. Everything he does because he has a tiny dick. There, I said it. Not because of America First, because people are still unable to buy their groceries, pay off their insurance bills, and you know, no health care. And yet they vote for him. He's killing off their farmers. He's deporting the farmers' workforce. So next summer, coming summer, a lot of American kids are going to have to step up and work the fields, or farmers will not be able to harvest their crops. Meanwhile, China is growing bigger and bigger each day. That is the real threat. I mean, and I should definitely not talk about China that way, because my entire survival gear comes from Temu. So I should probably shut up about China. Oh, my hands. I got coffee in my... Ugh, my fingertips are starting to burn up a bit. Alright. So, yeah, I get most of my survival gear from Temu. That is the survival gear that I don't depend on with my life. I'm talking about cooking gear. I'm talking about navigational gear like a compass and everything. What else? Some first aid stuff that I have comes from China. Not my backpack. My backpack is a real Tasmanian Tiger Mil Ops 80 plus 24, 2 times 12. So that's a big backpack. And I need it because it's filled to the brim with stuff that I need to survive. I have a tarp, which I bought here in the Netherlands, not from the United States, from China. I have water purification stuff like a Sawyer and everything. I did buy those in the Netherlands and not from Temu. They have them, but that's a thing that is supposed to save my life. I'm not gonna buy that in China. So yeah, that's oh, I'm a bit high. Well, no, not that kind of high. I'm flying too high. All right. What date does my Alright, turn point Oita is coming up, which means we're gonna make a left turn to Yanai, Squirm, Marco, Moscow, Misen, Meki, and then fly the approach into Hiroshima. And that airfield over there, that is Oita. And I think we have scenery for it, but as I said before, I'm gonna do the circumference of Japan first and then fly the airfields into the interior, because else the flights will get too short. there was this discussion on Facebook whether or not a human head is still alive after decapitation. And yes, it is. Not ours, as the newspaper said, not ours, but definitely seconds. How they found out? Some scientists decided to dive into this, and of course during the French Revolution a lot of people were decapitated by the guillotine, and of course he wanted to test whether or not people were still responding to anything after their head was cut off. And the results were kinda scary, because seconds after, the eyes would still blink when the name was mentioned. They would still respond to external handling, like pushing or stuff like that on the skin. And this could take several minutes. So think about this. You're standing in line to be decapitated because, as I said, the guillotine worked day and night. And it's finally your turn. You're being pushed into the restraints. The knife comes down, and with one nice slices your head off. Your head falls into the basket, eyes up, and what you see is your neck and no head. And you see this. Your brain is actually processing this. You can't talk because the rest of your body is gone. You don't have lungs to push air through your larynx and vocal cords. But you witness this. Then the next person is being prepped. Again, the knife comes down and her head falls on yours. And you see this as well. And he, if he's lucky enough to face down, sees you. Your head. I mean, science can be so gruesome. I love it. I love these stories. Alright, inbound Marco.
Arcus Air 806. Expect ILS Yankee approach runway 10.
Expect ILS Yankee approach runway 10, Arcus Air 806.
Arcus Air 806. When ready, descend 2,800.
Descent 2800, Arcus Air 806. We'll probably get vectors. Okay, inbound Moscow. And I should be able to stay at 2800. Although I don't think that's really smart with that airport. Marine Corps Air Station. Well, they'll let me know if I'm not wanted. They'll send up some Super Hornets or... Iwakuni MCAS. You can see the port for the... probably for the LHDs. Not so much for carriers. I'm not sure what's stationed at Iwakuni. Let's see what we can find. Iwakuni Hey, come on. Iwakuni MCAS. Marine Corps Air Station Iwankuni, as I said. F-35s. Joint Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force and United States Marine Corps. They have United States Air Force, United States Navy, United States Marine Corps, Fleet Air Wing 31, Japanese, Carrier Air Wing 5. Oh, that is a carrier. Of course, they have more than one. Marine Aircraft Group 12. They probably fly the F-35 Charlie. Bye-bye. Yeah, there's definitely room for a carrier there. Oh, I'm going too fast. Too fast. Too fast is too much fuel. How high is that ridgeline? That's not good. It started with slight roughness, and I thought I heard some misfires, but I'm not sure. I should be able to diagnose my aircraft. Runway 10, and we're gonna use the ILS Zulu, I think it was.
Arcus Air 806, contact Hiroshima, approach 124.05.
Hiroshima approach 124060 for Arcus Air 806. .050. I'm not wearing my glasses because they are absolutely useless for nearby. Hiroshima approach, Arcus Air 806 is inbound Misen at 2700.
Arcus Air 806 identified. Maintain 2,800. Prime H1017.
Yeah, my 2,800. Maintain 2,800, QNH 1017, Arcus Air 806. Yeah, it should be pretty much a straight-in approach. After the next waypoint, that is Misen, we get Mackie, and then we just fly the ILS. So I'm gonna set it up. That is 108.7. Oh, there we go. 10870. It was already there. There. The course is 098. Oh, easy. Then set this up 098. Zero 90098. The heading to the same. Hey. Eight miles. I'll get ready to switch OBS, CDI to V-lock. Where's approach mode? Set up. And we'll wait for the localizer to start moving. And there's the localizer. Flaps 1, gear down. I have the runway.
Arcus Air 806, fly heading 100, cleared ILS Yankee approach runway 10, report established on localizer.
Fly heading 100, cleared ILS Yankee approach, report established on localizer, Arcus Air 806. Arcus Air 806 on the localizer.
Arcus Air 806, say again.
Well, I just said that I have intercepted the localizer. Here we go. Established on the localizer, Arcus Air 806.
Arcus Air 806, continue approach.
Continue approach, Arcus Air 806. And here comes the glide slope. on the left side of the ADI.
Arcus Air 806. Contact Hiroshima Tower 118.6.
Hiroshima Tower on 118.60. Arcus Air 806. I need more power because I'm gonna stall. This is not a good situation. Because now I have missed my glide slope. (11860). Hiroshima Tower, Arcus Air 806, final runway 10.
Arcus Air 806, wind 05, 8 degrees at 6 knots. Clear to land 10.
Clear to land runway 10, Arcus Air 806. There. 500 feet per minute. Come on, girl. We got this. Trim, trim. Bit low. Bit more power. Power is attitude. Attitude is speed. Power is altitude, and attitude is speed. Why does it look like the running rabbit, the hurl lights, the runway lights, are not straight? Or is that a real thing? Is that not just my imagination? All right. No, that is not my imagination. Ooh, that's rough. That was rough.
Arcus Air 806, report vacated.
Yeah, we're not gonna make that one. Report vacated, Arcus Air 806. We're gonna take this one. Runway vacated, Arcus Air 806.
Arcus Air 806, taxi to gate 10.
Taxi gate 10, Arcus Air 806. Forgot all my lights again. I need to find a checklist that I have. Quit your nagging. That's 8. That's 9. And the last one is ours. Right, this one. All right, we made it. Parking brake. No. Off. Off, off, off. There. And that is how we do that. That was Nagasaki to Hiroshima, people, in a Cessna 210, which is dirty now. As you can see, a lot of dead flies. Millions of them, which makes me a serial killer, apparently, but I don't care. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next leg. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel, please. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.